Good evening. Uh, I'm asking everybody to be patient with me that may watch this. Um, I kind of struggled today. Ain't no kind of. I struggled today with whether to give this or not because of what I received the other day. So I just want to take y'all down through why I struggle with uh, revealing what I was told to reveal today. Um, So I'm just gonna start right here with 8/7/2023 at 1:27 p.m. I need you to pay attention to the time 1:27 p.m. And I didn't make this up. This was the actual time that I got through praying and went to writing this down. It was 1:27 p.m. on 8/7/2023. As I come up out of my prayer, this is what I write. The manipulation in the church has gotten too powerful. As they was trying to manipulate me, I got reminded about Ezekiel 8:1. Just as I was praying. And how the hand of God came upon Ezekiel in his house outside of the temple of the church or the church building because of the evil that was there in the temple. I got reminded of Russia and China and North Korea. I was also told that I needed to reflect on Revelation chapter 22, verse 2, and Genesis chapter 24, verse 67, and Deuteronomy 11:11. Okay, so the manipulation was going on in a powerful way even before the seventh, but that day it was the manipulation was really out there. It was real bad, and I was able to actually just feel that it wasn't right at all. Period. So I'm going to try to do this and come up, and I need y'all to really pay attention to all the things that I was told this day. I believe this part right here is come from God because he reminded me of what he told me about beware the bear, beware of the dragon, beware of North Korea. Russia is the bear. China is the dragon, and North Korea is who they are, North Korea. I was given this warning back in 2012. I gave this warning again in January of 2020, and then in 2020 again I gave a warning. This was right after the airplane had got shot down over Iran or something like that, and all the people got killed. You know, the warning just started to feel my spirit and my soul. But anyway, if we pay attention, Russia and China just got through doing the exercise in the sea together. Russia and China is meeting up, you know. Now, this warning was coming to me about beware of the bear, beware the dragon, way back in 2020. I wasn't understanding it, okay? I began to understand it later, okay? And now we're seeing this really play out and people not really taking heed to the big warning that's there. So I was reminded of that. And then I was told to go and reflect on Revelation chapter 22, verse 2, Genesis chapter 24, verse 67, and Deuteronomy 11:11. And I was fighting so that I didn't. And I end up missing out again, you know, on a huge, huge blessing. You know, even though somebody hit it down there in Florida, even half of that would have been about 350 million for me. So that's twice from out of the message that I started working on at the beginning of this year that would have paid off later on financially for me and a lot of others. But I wasn't paying attention in the way that I should have been. When I was told to do this, I was too busy looking at something else in the scriptures, something that I was stuck on. And God was trying to remind me or trying to get me to go back to where it started at to get to where I was looking at. I was caught up once again on the womb. I was stuck on the womb. And I couldn't take and go back to before the womb to take and get an understanding of what God was saying. I light look bad on this. Excuse me for 1 minute, y'all. Okay, I don't know. Something's wrong. Okay, some type of way it turned around. Okay. I know I already been on here for 5 minutes already. So what I want to do, I just want to give y'all the warning first, and then I want to come back to what I was told to do on the 7th, and I didn't do. So, and that's the only reason why I'm giving this warning, because if I would have listened to what come to me on the 7th and just did what I was told to do and obedient to it, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. Not saying that I would just reject the Lord, but I would be on me a nice little vacation for about a month because I need it, But anyway, let's go on and go to what I was told, okay? Because I've been fighting this all day, and the reason why I've been fighting this because I've given this warning multiple times, and I just didn't feel that it was right to take and keep on having to give a warning. Me, now see, we speaking from out of my soul when I say I, and the I is a prideful I, now that I realize it, because if God's saying to give it, because I'm looking in the Bible about how many times did the messengers in the Bible, the prophets in the Bible, keep on giving the same warning over and over again. And I'm finding that it's not mentioned where one specific one gave the same warning over and over again. But what God was doing is he used multiple messengers to get the same warning. Because I could find a similar warning in Ezekiel, similar warning in Jeremiah, similar warning in Isaiah that basically was talking about some of the same things. So me want to be caught up on, like, okay, if God gave a warning, that should be it. Shouldn't have to keep on giving it. But also I have to think about how many times he has given me warning about something too. So today's date is 5, right? I said that it came to 5, that 5 will fall by the end of, okay. We ain't talking about that one right there. It came to me to read Numbers chapter 11, 20. We ain't talking about that one either. Okay, again, yesterday, Genesis chapter 24, verse 7 and 67 came to me to read, but I know it speaks about a whole lot more. We ain't talking about that. Forgive me, I'm trying to get down to what I need to be doing. Okay, here he is. 8/15/2023, 2:13 p.m. While in the bathroom, I had a vision of a white horse and he that rides on him. As he came towards me, he reached down and pulled the python spirit out of me. After this, he said they will learn to let go. Then I was told, give the warning and what I sing, and give the warning and what I sing. Before the white horse appeared, I seen someone getting out of a wheelchair that was bound to it, getting up out of it. And this was happening in some type of church gathering or something like that, where this was happening. I heard about the eyes of the blind being open. Heard it being said about people that was in there that couldn't see being able to see. Okay, this was happening this was happening at some kind of gathering. I already said it. Then the one that rides on a white horse appeared and stretched down or snatched the python, stretched down and snatched the python spirit up out of me. But it's right back. Okay, he ended up coming right back. I just had some. Okay, I just lost a soul because of. Okay, as this was happening, like 10, 15 minutes later, I found myself fighting right back with this spirit again. Okay, after this had happened, I'm like, okay, if this angel Lord or spirit of serving Lord, it takes something up out of you. You have to do something for it to come back. But I ended up feeling the spirit right back. And then I was hearing when I went to Bishop Butler's church something about a Kundalini spirit. So I looked that up, and the Kundalini spirit, and the Kundalini spirit, Shepokorea Shande. And the Kundalini spirit has also to do with a serpent spirit. Okay. Anyway, I just heard souls being lost because of pride. It was coming to me as all this was going on that a lot of souls are being lost because of the spirit of pride. So this brought me back to this right here as I went to go seek God some more, because like I said, didn't want to get on here and say the same thing that I've been saying. I've been saying this ever since 2020, this particular thing here. Okay, 8:15. I'm trying, cuz. Love you, man. Thank you. I'm trying. I'm trying. Believe me, I'm trying to do what it is he want me to do. It's hard, especially when we come from where me and you come from. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't want to hear it because, they're always looking at that person there. You know what I mean? So I'm trying, man. And I love you. Thank you for the encouragement, man. Today's date, 8/15/2023, 3:20 p.m., just after what had happened a little bit earlier. As I prayed, I asked Father Yahweh, is it really him that wants me to give this message? I have given this message every year since 2020. I don't believe it's you telling me to give it, Father. I then heard about disobedience is as a form of witchcraft. I then got reminded about what I was shown in 2012. I just spoke to y'all about that a little bit. The different vials that had different viruses in it. I was also reminded about Matthew chapter 24, verse 6 and 7. Then reminded about 1967 and Genesis chapter 24, verse 67. After this, I was reminded about Matthew chapter 24 and the Mega Million and Powerball numbers speaking through Matthew chapter 24. I then said, I don't believe you are the one that's causing these viruses to be released. I then was guided back to Matthew chapter 24 and 26, where I was given confirmation. If you really read Matthew, as a matter of fact, let me read it and talk about this a little bit. Now, I want y'all to use your own common sense and also seek the Lord on this too, because I was like telling the Lord, I know that judgment is coming. I know you'll let judgment come, but I don't really believe you the one that's causing these viruses to be released. Then in here, he reminded me, let me read it like it came. Then reminded about 1967, then Genesis chapter 24, verse 6, 7. After this was reminded about Matthew chapter 24 and the Mega Million and Powerball number speaking through Matthew chapter 24. I then said, I don't believe you are the one that's causing these viruses to be released. I then was guided back to Matthew chapter 24, verse 6 and 7. So let's read Matthew chapter 24 and 27. Matter of fact, to get a better understanding of what's really going on here, let's go to Matthew chapter 24, verse 1. And we're going to read from verse 1 to 7 so we can really get the understanding that I got now. Now pay attention. And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him to show him the building of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. Already to part. Now here we go. It will go down a little farther and say, verse 3, and as he sat up on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of the coming and of the end of the world? What shall be the signs of the coming and the end of the world? Okay? Verse 4, and Jesus answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. We know that the spirit of deception is running throughout the world right now in a big way, especially in the church. Now pay attention to what he says after this. Let me read verse 5 again. He says, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. So spirit of deception is one of the first things that he talks about. But how did we get to verse 6 and 7? The disciples, let's go back to verse 4. Verse 3, the disciples asked Jesus a question in verse 3, forgive me. And as he sat up on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? Now they asking the question, and what shall be the signs of thy coming and of the end of the world? Then Jesus said, and Jesus answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Then he goes on to say, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. Must come to pass. But the end is not yet. Now pay attention to this, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine. Pay attention, famine and pestilence. What is pestilence? Pestilence is like disease or virus. He's saying these things shall be. He never said he caused them. Okay? I refer back to Matthew chapter 24. He never said he caused them. They asked what would be the signs of that coming. He tell them about the things that would be going on. He never, ever said not once that he caused them. But these things will happen. There will be signs. And see, we must pay attention to the vision that he gave me in 2012. I had a vision, and I seen people with medical gear on, white garments and stuff like that, and they had vials. They had viruses in them. And it was more than one vial. See, we must get this. Because we know way back they was trying to manipulate stuff, to where they can take and release stuff and kill off people. If a war was going on, release stuff, kill off people. They was experimenting And I was shown these vows. And I was reminded again in 2020. And all the way up to then, I was told and was given a warning. If y'all check and y'all go back, if they ain't took it down, and y'all go back and y'all look at the post that I posted on January the 23rd, 2019. I posted about them taking and manipulating and doing stuff, and there was finna be an outbreak. I posted that a whole year before it happened. And God had been revealing it to me way back in 2020. And not only were other people seeing it too. It's just like right now, other people know that there's something else that's finna really hit the world like COVID again, but this is gonna be a little bit more deadly than COVID. Okay? Now in 2020, I gave a warning saying, I gave it 2020, I gave this warning in 2021, I gave this warning in 2022, I'm giving this warning now. Every year I've given this since 2020, that there was going to be those that was going to escape the COVID virus, but they wasn't going to escape what was going to come in 2023, 2024, 2025. I gave this warning every year since then. And in this warning, it just wasn't a virus that was going to be hitting people, but other things was too. And a lot of these things was going to be caused because people had took and just really walked away from God and was took and doing ungodly things, and God just was taking it back. He was withdrawing his hand. These viruses and other stuff that's finna start hitting, it's not God that's causing it. It's God not being there with us that's causing these situations. God's hand has been, I've been giving this warning since 2015 to where I seen the hands outstretched like this. And then each year it was coming down, it was coming down, it was coming down to where I didn't see nothing but the fingertip. And then I told y'all I seen the fingertip disappear. I seen at one point in time, hands on all four sides of this country. Stretched out on all four sides. Stretched out. And I was seeing them drop year after year. And this had been going on for a while. We have embraced a lot of things. A lot of things of the world. And that's not of God. We have forgotten that our true essence and our true nature is spirit. We spirit beings. Our true essence comes from God, who is spirit, and he is a being. I want to say this wrong. Forgive me, Lord. Him himself is spirit, said Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. So we know that the Holy Ghost is mentioned last. We know that Jesus manifested in the flesh, okay? We know that it's things that exist in the spirit realm before it even manifests in the spirit realm. Those who really understand that concept of things, how things exist there before they come into fruition here, okay? And all of that is of God. All of that comes from God, So what I'm really trying to say is that our true essence, even though we in this fleshly body right now, our true being is not from here. But most of us deny that part of us, and we embrace only the world. And I fought with it myself over and over. I'm fighting with it now because I'm finding it real hard that I missed in less than a month time. I missed over $700 million in less than a month time. When they that saying and when they be talking about, he'll give you double for your troubles. That pressed down, shaking together and rolling over. I was supposed to experience that in a big way. And I'm really on here right now because I don't want to be disobedient and I don't want y'all to mess up and to mess out like me. A lot of people just get real bitter. I'm trying to keep from getting that way because there's a lot of things that was done to me in this last month that shouldn't be done. People using knowledge that they shouldn't be using. fighting with your witches and your warlocks. You know what I mean? You know, people trying to manipulate situations like all day today. And that's why I really didn't want to get on here and say nothing about it. But I'm going to say that God isn't causing this. What's happening is God is withdrawing his hand of protection, his hand of love, his hand of peace from certain things. From certain things, not all. Because I really believe what come to me early this year and the end of last year, for those that got their hands outstretched to him, hearts open, he will be moving among them. And I'm going to tell you why I believe this. Now we're going to get to this part of it. We're going to go back to the 7th. Now, I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And telling God, I'm getting to Genesis 3 and 9. Let's go to Genesis 3 and 9 first. I'm getting to Genesis 3 and 9, and I'm reading it. I'm telling God, I know you calling, I know you talking to me, but I can't hear you. Now I'm reading this, Genesis 3 and 9. And the Lord God called unto Adam and said unto him, where art thou? And I'm sitting there with the table, my hand on the Bible, bent down, saying, Lord, I know you talking to me, but I can't hear you. I know you talking to me, but I can't hear you. And here it is. He was telling me, it's plain and simple. I got reminded of Russia, China, North Korea. I was also told that I was also told that I was needed. I was also told that I was needed to reflect on Revelations 22, verse 2, Genesis chapter 24, verse 67, and Deuteronomy 11:11. Now on the 14th, God, as I was praying, gave me a vision. And I was seeing water coming up that was turning into like light and then gold. And I had seen the angel, blood of the Lamb. Anyway, because you're not the author of confusion. If I can't interpret what I'm saying while I'm on here doing this, I understand that I'm not supposed to even speak it. Now, I know that I have the gift of speaking and the gift of interpretation. And I'm just asking you, if you want it to flow, I'm asking you to help me to understand it, Lord. Because got people watching. And people going into the church and they're hearing people speaking these tongues, but no real interpretation there. Some of the tongues ain't even coming from you. And I know that I'm fighting with something that ain't right. I want to represent you, but I can't represent you wrongly. Chantel, stop and be real careful what you do right now. Okay. Anyway, like I said, a lot of times I don't understand certain stuff, and sometimes when I speak it, the interpretation that comes, it be real accurate. Then sometimes when I speak it, I know that there's something that's going on that ain't of God. God's not the author of confusion. And I honestly believe with all my heart that true tongues is one of the most powerful gifts that anyone can have. It doesn't mean if you don't speak in it that you ain't walking in power, authority. No, I ain't saying that. I just have spoken in it, and I have seen, how can I say, I have seen doors open, gates open. I have seen gates close. I have seen things stop in the spirit realm and not manifest in the physical. I've seen it. I have seen it when I've spoken it. Angels have appeared, have come into churches. This is one tongue I speak in. It's a low whisper. And it's been times when I've spoken and I've seen angels appear. Okay? Like I said, the gift is real. We know that Satan mimics everything. But I need to get back to this because I need y'all to understand I don't want y'all to miss out on y'all blessings. And I don't want to miss out on no more minds. And at the same time, I want y'all to be ready for the outpouring, because that's the real blessing. outpouring of the Spirit and the guidance of the Holy Spirit. Okay? But I also know that God is trying to give some financial blessings too. So I need y'all to listen so y'all don't make the same mistake I made. Again, Genesis 3:9, real important. And the Lord God called unto Adam and said unto him, where art thou? And I'm sitting there, Lord, I know you're talking to me, but I can't hear your voice, Lord. I can't hear you. Now, here you go. 8/7/2023. I'm going to read the last part. I got reminded of Russia and China and North Korea. I was also told that I needed to reflect on Revelations chapter 2, Genesis chapter 24, verse 67, Deuteronomy 11:11. I was told this, but I'm seeking the Lord because I know that he's trying to bless me. I know he's trying to bless me big because he knows some of the things I want to do. And I know some of the things that he want to do and some people that he want to bless. And I'm like, I know it's here, Lord. I know it's here. But I'm stuck on the womb again, okay? So let's go to Genesis chapter 25, and God helped correct the mistake that I made in 2020 here. And I'm hoping that he'll correct this. So I'm stuck on the womb part because if you pay attention, you get 665th verse is Genesis chapter 25, verse 6. And it says, but unto the sons of the concubine, which Abraham had, Abraham gave gifts and sent them away. Gave gifts and sent them away from his son Isaac, while he yet lived eastward unto the east country. Okay, that's the 6th verse. So you get the number 6 there. The middle verse is 23. We go down to verse 23. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb. Bam! Here it is again. I'm stuck on the womb part, but God already done told me. Reflect on Revelation chapter 22, verse 2. Genesis chapter 24, verse 67. Deuteronomy 11:11. But I'm still stuck on the womb. I'm still stuck on doing my thing while fighting people that don't want me to have nothing either. And I'm talking to him, but he already done talked to me. And I had been getting nudged all that week about Genesis chapter 24, verse 6. And those that have discernment will know that I'm not lying. And even after the numbers came out, that next day when I got nudged again, I said, Lord, please don't let me find them there. And I got guided back to it. And I went there and bang. So here it is. I'm stuck on the womb part. And I'm going to tell y'all why I'm so stuck on the womb part. Because when you get to the womb, you find the numbers 19:22. Womb, W, is the 19th letter. 22 ends with the B. The beginning 19, the end 22. 1922. I'm stuck. I'm stuck like Chuck. It's a good situation, but it's not right now. Because I know that what I found in this message is legit. And I know the enemy didn't try everything he can to keep me from getting it. But just to show y'all, okay, 2 nations are in that womb. 2 nations. That's 3 letters. Nation will be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 when you get to the beginning of the womb. The end of it is 22. So I'm stuck. I'm stuck because of that and other stuff that I'm finding that's lining up. But God constantly telling me to reflect on Revelation. I know that Revelation 22, verse 2, I know that's the end of the matter. So he know I would know to go backwards. Okay? So if I go backwards and I start with Deuteronomy, okay, then look at Deuteronomy. In Deuteronomy, I'm going to find that 33 is heaven. I can tell you the numbers there without even going to it. I know that the middle is 24, and then you got a 7 there. I know the other middle part is 6 with a 22. I know the beginning is 10. I know all that. I know the numbers is there. But he's telling me to go to Genesis 24:67. Now, if you pay attention, the order that it was given to me in was Revelations 22, verse 2, Genesis chapter 24, verse 67. That's the middle verse, because that's second. The last one is Deuteronomy 11:11. And he know when I do something, I'm going to do it backwards, so I can try to get the best understanding out of it. So this is what I'm trying to say to y'all. I'm saying to God I can't hear. And at the same time, I know that it's a blessing in here for me and for others that he want me to have. And he's trying to guide me to it, but I'm stuck again on the wound. Okay? Because the wound it's getting ready to bust open. It's getting ready to happen, y'all. And I'm stuck like Chuck. But he already done said on the 7th. Just come to me on the 7th. Y'all that got this sermon, I know that I'm not lying. Okay? And I'm constantly saying, I can't hear you, Lord. I know you. I'm talking to him. I said, Lord, I know that this is going to come. I know that this is going to come. But I ain't feeling how to put it together, Lord. It ain't speaking to me like it was speaking to me before you sent me down there to Houston, Texas, to Covered by God, and that with Tiffany Montgomery. The numbers was talking to me then, Lord. I was feeling, I'm talking to him, just like this. Because I know that he hears. I know that he wants you to keep it real with him. And I'm talking. I'm like, I want to do this. I want to do that. I'm going to do right. You ain't got to worry about it. But what he done already told me. Again, what did he tell me? I got reminded about Russia, China, North Korea, and was told also that I needed to reflect on Revelations chapter 22, verse 2, Genesis chapter 24, verse 6, 7, Deuteronomy 11:11. Already told. Been nudged all this week. No. Trying to do my thing. So what I'm trying to say, y'all, I'm getting ready to show y'all that y'all just taking and doing y'all thing. Do the Lord's thing. Y'all that's been going through stuff for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and the Lord been telling you he's going to bless you, he's going to do that. He's going to do it if it's coming from him. Okay? I have been seeing things for years that I didn't understand. And it's all supposed to be coming about right now. But again, stuck on them. Don't do your thing. Do his thing. Do what he told you to do. Get up under somebody that understand. That's my problem. I've been going to different little places trying to be obedient, but I know nonsense now more than ever with the church. I know how to spot it. I know I don't want nothing to do with it. I'd rather be in a small church with 6, 7 people that's serious about the Lord than being in a great big old church. But you can feel the power there, but it's not moving. Anyway, I was told to do that. Genesis 24:67 was the middle verse. So let's go to Genesis. Chapter 24, verse 67. And let's just take it and go backwards with this. Okay? Now, these numbers I had already taken marked in here. Had these done before any of this happened. I'm just going to read the ones that I know that I already did some more stuff to that, but I know the ones that I had read and had done before that. And if I would have paid attention to that and then went to Deuteronomy 11:11, I'd have had it. Okay? Point blank. It was only, with what I had done, it was only like 9 to 13 combinations that I could have ran. And I was stuck like Chuck on 14 and 19 for the gold ball. Stuck. Okay? I knew it was going to be one of them. Okay? Now, if we pay attention, let's read verse 67. And Isaac brought her into his mother's Sarah's tent and took Rebekah. Okay? And took Rebekah. And she became his wife. Pay attention to this. And he loved her. And Isaac was confident after his mother's death. Now pay attention to what I already had checked out. I did some things since then, but I'm coming to y'all with straight up truth, what I had already marked. I had already marked the word confident. Okay? I already marked it. And the word confident, it ends with 20 letters. So here it is, you had a 20. That came out in the Mega Million thing on the 8th. Pay attention to the date, the 8th beginning. Okay? All right? I was looking that day to have it, but I was looking at the wrong thing and it was already told. So right here, when you get the confident, you got, and Isaac was confident. I'm going backwards because this how stuff talk to me. I'm going backwards. And Isaac was confident. I'd already did this months before we come to this, okay? And what he was doing, he was letting what I did months ago come to now to pay off for me and for others, okay? So if you go, and Isaac was confident, you go, and that's 3 letters. Isaac, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 8. Was 3. 1, that's 11. And then you got confident, right? You got confident, right? You got the C, 1. Okay, we're gonna go like this. Okay, we're gonna go 3, 5, which is 8, plus 3 is 11. Okay, now we had the word confident, right? Okay, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's 20. I already did this, okay? Already did it. Y'all got the sermon, I know it. I'm trying to get y'all to not miss out like I did. Because there's some of y'all that he's talking to that y'all been doing certain things, you been having y'all to do it. Stick with it. Stick with what he's saying. Stick with what you was doing that was talking to you and he was giving you confirmation on. Stick with it. Okay? Don't do what I just did. All right? Don't do me. Okay? Do God. Now we're still going backwards. And he loved her. Okay? And 3, he 2, that's 5. Love, with that'll make it 11, right? Okay? Her. Okay, let me make sure I'm doing this right. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. When you get to her, the end of her, that's 13. So you got 20 and you got 13. Go and do it yourself. Go backwards. Okay, that's how I do things. Okay. Now we get to the part right here, the middle part, which is, and she became his wife. Now, at the end of wife, you get 19. 19 was also in that Mega Million draw. 20, 13, 19 was in there. Now, I'm stuck on 14, and I hadn't even looked at this yet. I'm stuck on 14 because of other stuff that I can show you. Now, here we got right here, and took Rebekah. Now, you count everything there. When you get to the end of Rebekah, that's 14. That was the gold ball. So now here it is. You got 3 of them with the gold ball, and I had this done already. Okay? Now, this chapter right here points to Deuteronomy 11:11. That's how I even come to this. If you watch the last video that I did on things being revealed through the Bible, a worldly event, the last thing I did, I talked about this verse, Genesis chapter 24, verse 67, Genesis chapter 24, verse 7, and Genesis 3 and 9 was the last things that I had talked about. I ended that on this. Now here it is, you got 4 numbers, but it's also a 5th number that was in there. Okay? Sarah. Sarah, when you get to Sarah, the beginning of Sarah, that's 32. But that ain't where I would have found the 32 at. I would have found the 32 because this right here automatically points me back to Deuteronomy 11:11, and I hadn't did none of these other numbers yet. So I still would have had to look for two more to connect. Okay. Now, even though I had in here, I had the 40 done, I'm looking for specific things to speak to me, confidence speak to me. Her spoke to me. That's why I numbered it already. Wife spoke to me. That's why already Rebecca spoke to me. I had already had number months ago. Spoke to me months ago. Now, here it is. All this is said, this verse is said in 29 words. The middle number of 29, 2 and 9 equals 11. That's the first 11. Let me get this book because I don't want to say nothing wrong. I want to make sure that I get this all the way right. Now, you get the first 11 there. The second 11, because 29 words. Said in 29 words, please hear me. This is said in 29 words, okay? 29 words break down to 2 plus 9 is 11. Now, here it is. We're going to take and we're going to go right here to the middle of this with the letters. So now we got 29 words doing this. But when you do the letters and you go to the letters, the middle of the letters is 74. 7 and 4 breaks down to 11. So here it is. You got 11:11 speaking. Okay? 11:11 automatically, that takes me right back to Deuteronomy. This I got to do it because I hadn't did these other numbers that I did today. But these numbers, the other ones that I just talked to you about, was done months ago. I was being told to return to it. Okay? Now, I know the numbers that hadn't came out of Deuteronomy 11:11 yet, because the numbers that did come from out of there came out on the 19th with the Powerball. That was 7, 10, 11, 13, 24, 24. So the numbers that was left from Deuteronomy 11:11 that hadn't came out was, if you go to Deuteronomy 11:11, go to Deuteronomy 11:11, you automatically know that heaven hadn't came out. The end of that, when you take and do that part, is 33 letters. Okay, 33 was in there. Okay, so we taking account of this. 33 was in there. And the last thing that was left from out of that that come from out of those two numbers to choose from that hadn't come from out of this yet, that was real important number that hadn't came yet, was 32 too. Now, if you take and you go to the first middle, you get exactly, you got 22 letters in the middle, then you got 10 before then, that's 32. I know the process to take, and I would know to take and go back. Heaven, that hadn't came out yet. Okay? Heaven hadn't came out yet. Okay? The middle or numbers in there, the 24 had already came out. The 22 hadn't came. So I know that I would have had to pick from 3 numbers. So like I said, that would have made me have to run 3 different combinations. But we know that heaven is real upon his speak. But this also spoke to get confirmation on the 20. First thing he guided me to days before was he that had me to take and look at that number 20, because the number 20 was the gold ball in the drawing before then. I was like, okay, well, the 20 ain't showing in this. Then he had me to take and cut the it off, all right? Rather you go to possess. When you get to the word possess, there's 20 letters. And I was like, wow. I know to do certain things. I know to let the numbers speak through the words. And I just didn't have any because I had so much dead weight in me from people wanting to be connected that just wanted to take. Don't do what I did and go to telling people about things. Keep a lot of the stuff that God is saying to yourself until you know it's him telling you to tell. I messed up by doing that. Don't make that mistake. Don't mess up like that. Because God is he's going to be blessed while all this is going on, these viruses and people getting sick and mass shooting going, God's going to be blessing those that got their hearts open to him. Keep on showing me over and over and over again. I know people are, oh, God don't do that. I don't want to hear nothing. You super self-righteous. Forgive me. Forgive me. Because sometimes I get beside myself when it comes to God's word too. So forgive me. But we keep on putting him in a box saying how he'll do things. We got to stop doing that. Y'all see, he brings me right. I had walked away from this. I had let it go. I had started working on it, period. And he told me at the beginning of the year, when I missed that job part, the big one that was out in January, they ended up getting rid of the film, I got real sad. And then he told me in July. I was already told months ahead of time, July. But I walked away, and I wasn't prepared, wasn't ready. Don't walk away. Don't give up. If you drain the tight, just lay in your bed and just, Lord, I'm drained, I'm tired, help me, Lord. I'm holding on, Lord, help me, Lord. And talk to him. Don't do what I did. I walked away. Then he gave me a vision on the 14th to reunite it again. But I wasn't pushing like I was doing before. Because if I did, I'd have had both of them. And that's not being greedy, because I would have did what I was supposed to do, what this message is supposed to do. It was a message that is supposed to lead and bless. Let's read Deuteronomy 11:11. But the land, whether you go to possess it, is a land of hills and valleys, and drink its water from the rain of heaven. That's a blessed land. A blessed land. Now, I showed you the 11:11 in there. I showed y'all the numbers in there. Because if you take and you do it, you get the 33. 33, going back, you get 33. Now, we know that 24 and the 7 that came. So on the numbers in here that hadn't came out was the middle numbers. That's 22, 6, and 32. 3 combinations to run with the rest. 3 combinations to run. I hadn't even, to the day, I just come and did what I was told to do then. Because I really didn't want to be banged and bust upside my head like I am now. It hurts, man. 14 years he been pushing me and having me read certain stuff to come to this. He was giving me back what I gave. I had walked away from doing the lottery and doing things. I walked away from it and just pushed and said I wanted to serve him. And then it was brought back by something that happened. I forgot exactly what event had happened, but I was doing something, and then all of a sudden, the numbers in it began to speak to me. Then it just went to want. And always giving me confirmation. He speak through you through worldly things. He'll bless you through worldly things. Just don't put those worldly things before him. Many are going to be going up out of here. I told you I seen that vessel that was coming for souls. You know, there's things that's going to happen right now along with this. I want to be careful what I say, because I want y'all to share this. I want people to hear this, because there's a lot of people that's been laboring and suffering for years. And the blessings is in whatever it is that God been having them to take into. Okay? It's in there. Just like all that I had pulled off into all of this. I got books, man. I could take and pull out stacks and stacks of stuff that I've been working in. I stopped, and some things I didn't finish. And you know, I want to take and finish. There's so much to this. So much to this. Remember one of the other verses in there that talk about, if you go back and watch that, was Genesis chapter 24, verse 7, when he was sending him to go get his wife. Now I need y'all to see the connection in this, how important this is. Now watch this. Watch this. Watch. Let me read 24, verse 7 first, because I'm going to get carried away. Help me, Lord, to take and do this the right way, the right way. Now, if we take Genesis and we go to Genesis chapter 24, verse 7, because remember, Genesis chapter 24, verse 7 is what led me to Genesis chapter 24, verse 67. Now, if we pay attention, when you read this, look what Abraham said. The Lord God of heaven, which took me from my father's house and from the land, listen, and from the land of my kindred, and which spake unto me, and that sweared, keyword, unto me, saying, unto thy seed will I give this land. He shall send an angel before thee, and thou shalt take a wife unto my son from thence. Now he says this in 56 words. The middle number from 56 is 11. 5 and 6 is 11. It's real important it is. The middle of this, don't do it without looking. Because you've been out of whack for a while. The middle of this, okay, is you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I need to make sure I'm doing this right. 5. The middle of this is 5 because you got 9 parts to it. So 4 and 4 is in the middle of both the vessels. The middle would be 5. When you take and you do the middle and you add it up, because you first go 5 and 7, it's 12, then 7 more, it's 19, then 5 more, it's 24, then 5 more, is 29. So the middle of this is 29. So you got 29 in the middle, which taking breaks down to 2 and 9 is 11. So you got 11 in the middle, and you got 11 on the end. Again, Deuteronomy 11 and 11. Where did I get Genesis chapter 24, verse 7? I got that from Deuteronomy. If y'all remember, if y'all watch, I got that from Deuteronomy chapter 11, 11 in the middle. Because in the middle of Deuteronomy chapter 11, 11, you got 24 letters. And then you got 7 words. That's what led me to this. You see how everything keeps giving confirmation. Now watch how the whole of this verse in Genesis chapter 24, verse 7, how it gives confirmation to the wife that he's going to get, and to what all this, how all this taking go back to him being a promised child, how this is going to continue. I need y'all to pay attention to this. Watch how powerful this is. When you take and you do the whole thing on the letters, you get 212 letters. If you take and you break that down to half and half, like I always show you, we do the first part, which is 21. So that would take you to chapter 21. Now pay attention to this, how deep this is. You know, that take you to chapter 21. And then, because the numbers is 212. That's how many letters it is in that verse in Genesis chapter 24, verse 7. It's 212. So I've showed you many times. I ain't just making it up. I've been doing this all along. Okay? Look how I get confirmation. They knew when they was taking and putting this together that this was here. Okay? So you got the number 212. Now you taking it and you doing it from the middle, going to the left, and then you doing it from the middle going to the right. But if you just take and do the middle by itself, and look at this first part, look what you get. You get 21, because you get the number 2 and 1. Okay, that's 21. Then you get the number 2 left by itself. So this brings you to Genesis chapter 21, verse 2, and look what it says. For Sarah conceived and bare Abraham a son in his old age. The middle of this, when you say old age, ends with exactly 29 letters. 29 letters breaks down to what? 11 again. Okay? So we need to pay attention to God was already saying that it was a mystery in this. Because remember I said 11 is a number that speaks about judgment. 11 is a number that speaks about, okay, come on, Jesus. It speaks about judgment, disorder, mystery, and mastery. Okay, here, God ain't talking about no disorder because God took and put this together. This was a promise that he made. So this was a mystery and the mastery of God's hand being fulfilled. Because right here it says that Sarah conceived and bare Abraham a son in his old age. This is the middle number. Okay. Now watch this. Watch this. We need to get to 29. The middle number is 11. Now watch this right here. It says this in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 9 words. Okay? Now, we know that 2 and 7 makes 9. Okay? It's talking about seed, but we also know that we find the tree of life in Genesis 2 and 7, and Genesis 2 and 9, and the 9th verse. Okay? So we got 29. Here it is, the seed that God was taking and using to take and bring us back to him. Okay? Get the number 9 in there too. We need to see the flow of this and how this is going. Because 2 and 9, the letters is 29 letters, which middle of it breaks down to 11. But we just look at 2 and 9. If you go to 2 and 9 in Genesis, what is it talking about in the 9th verse? 9 words, it says about him saying, and bear Abraham a son his old age. And 9 words. The whole of this is said in 23 words. 23 breaks down to 5. Now watch this. Watch this. It's 212 letters exactly in that. 212 breaks down to 2 plus 1 is 3 plus 2 is 5. So you get the 5 there too. Confirmation again. Okay? But it's something else I want y'all to take and see in here. The 5 is running in all of this. And all this because 24 and 7, the middle is 5 with the 29 again. Okay? It's 5 again. The middle is said what it said in 5 words. Let me go to that. Look what the middle says right here. It says, let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, look what the middle say. And that swear unto me. Now this God swearing unto him. Okay? So what is God's word doing? Is God's word, is it a promise? Yes. Just like he made to Abraham. And a promise he intended to keep. A promise he tried to keep with me. But I missed it. I don't want y'all to miss it. It's so much more here that I can show y'all. But I done been on here too long. So I just want to show y'all 2 more things. And then I'm out of here. If we go to Genesis chapter 24, verse 67, you got, let me make sure I'm doing this right, because I don't want to make no mistakes, man. Here we go. You got in Genesis chapter 24, verse 67, the letters, it got 127 letters exactly. Now let's pay attention to what Genesis chapter 24, verse 67 says. And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent, and to his mother Sarah's tent, and took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and loved her. And Isaac was confident after his mother's death. Now that is said in 29 words, but in 127 letters. Pay attention. Now we're going to go to Genesis chapter 23, verse 1. And Sarah was 127 years old. These was the years of the life of Sarah. She lived 127 years. Now, Genesis chapter 24, verse 67 The words that said in there by him taking Rebecca, his wife, to his mother tent, is said in 29 letters. Understand the mystery of this. It's saying in 29 words that's made up from 127 letters. I hope y'all get this. 127 breaks down to 10. Yah, hand of God, was on this whole thing. And I could take y'all from here to here back into the bar with the womb with these numbers. But I want to do this before I do anything. Matter of fact, I ain't going to even know. I'm giving it a start right here in a minute because I haven't wrote any of this down. I'm basically just doing this, all this from off the top of my head in memory and what I got did. But I want y'all to look at this, then I'm finna end this. Okay. This bride thing and people that's taking and getting married. The woman down there at the Cover by God, she was talking about, when I went down, she was talking about how her and her husband was taking and seeing all kinds of signs and miracles and stuff in their ministry. And God is getting ready to continue to let that type of stuff explode with these godly marriages. These marriages that's run together because of him. And I believe that's another reason why this was did like this. And I probably y'all would have took more heed to it if I would have caught on and I would have won all the money, then y'all be okay, you can do that and that, but I didn't. But I hope y'all take heed to it just like I won. Because it was there for me to get. And I would have got it. If I'd have been in my zone, I'd have got it. The first one, I spoke it out on the video. Y'all go back and y'all watch that video. You know, I sit up there in the last video and I talked about 24-24. You know, I'd already been talking about the 7-10, the 11-13, all that. I already had mentioned all that, but when I was told to go back to Deuteronomy 11:11, all of us right there, I'm talking about it. As he gave me this vision, he let me do my thing and then come back talking to me. Go back and watch that video, the very first one that I took and I did on the 16th about the vision that he gave me on the 14th. And then the 14th was the gold ball. This is my 14th year. Okay? Ain't none of this no coincidence, y'all. None of it. Now I'm finna show y'all something else and I'm gone. In the middle one, it said, and she became his wife. The last letter is in wife is E, and it's 19. Okay? Now we're going backwards. 19, and the verse is 67. 1967, first Super Bowl. And I hate that I didn't get to take and do everything on that Super Bowl to show y'all other stuff that's taking and speaking through that worldly event. Because them 5 Super Bowls that they was in is speaking real loudly in a big way. And I was told about the year of the 5, but I think I'm really starting to get the thing about this. I don't think the year of the 5 is just going to be this year. I think the year of the 5 is going to explode in the year 2024. Because 2024 is the middle of these 3 years that all this stuff is supposed to be happening. Okay? But if you go backwards, you get 1967. The 19 is in the middle. The verse is 67. Oh, you can't do that. Okay? I can't do that. Can't do it. You're right. So let me do this right here. I end up being guided to Genesis chapter 24, verse 7, right? Through Deuteronomy 11:11, right? Now watch this. Chapter 24, verse 7. 24 breaks down to what? 6. Verse what? 7. You get 67 right there, okay? Then the verse 67. Now let's take and go to Genesis chapter 25. Let's go to Genesis chapter 25, verse 24, right? Now watch this. Verse 24. Breaks down to 6. exactly 16 words in that verse. 16 breaks down to some 67 again. Okay, where's the 19? You find it. I love y'all. Have a blessed day.